Hello, the subject is marketing management. The topic is distribution, physical distribution. Distribution and physical distribution becomes an important function for marketing in the process of delivering the product to the ultimate consumer. This being one of the important tools of promotion, distribution becomes important to make the product reach the consumer. Let us see the meaning of physical distribution. Physical distribution is an important marketing function describing the marketing activities relating to the flow of raw materials from the suppliers to the factory and the movement of finished goods from the end of production line to the final consumer or users. It is this physical distribution which is going to help the product that is being manufactured to reach the ultimate consumer who is going to use the products. Marketing agencies such as dealers, merchants, and mercantile agents manage the flow of goods and perform the function of physical supply right up to the consumers or customers' homes and stores. It is always not the company which does physical distribution, but there are many players in between the company and the customer who do these activities of physical distribution. If all well and said and done, if physical distribution is not done well, then the company has to pay the price. But if physical distribution can be done well, the company can benefit from it to a larger extent. Physical distribution function is responsible for completing the marketing transaction once the function of exchange is completed. That is, the buyer and seller come to terms and enter into a contract of sale. It should be noted that before the sale can be completed, the product must be available at the place the buyer wants it, at the time he wants it, and in the quantity he wants it. And all this can be done only through physical distribution. And if the physical distribution is not being made possible in the manner the customer or the consumer wants, then it could end up in no transaction. In general, the function of physical supply attempts to accomplish the delivery of goods at the right place at the right time and in the right quantity in the right manner as well. Let us see what is the meaning of physical distribution and what do the experts have to say in concern with physical distribution. Philip Kotler defines physical distribution to be a process which involves planning, implementing, and controlling the physical flows of materials and final goods from place of production to the place of end use to satisfy buyers' needs. So it is this which is going to take the product to the ultimate consumer. But the organization has the function of planning, implementing, and controlling these activities of making the products reach from the organization to the ultimate user and thus satisfy his needs. Condiff and Still define physical distribution as the process which involves the actual movement and storage of goods after they are produced and before they are consumed. So, Condiff and Still, he adds to the definition and he comes out with an important concept where storage becomes a fact for the goods that are to be physically distributed. Not all the goods can be always on the vehicle's distribution, but there are some times which the time and the situation forces the organization to store the goods and then sell the same good for the required consumers. And this process of storage also comes into existence in the process of physical distribution, and that is what Cardiff stresses on. Moving on, let us see what are the objectives of physical distribution. The objectives of physical distributions are to ensure consumer convenience, to facilitate continuous production, to achieve economy, to reduce degree of damage or wastage. Let us see one by one in detail what these objectives are and what do they state. First objective of physical distribution is to ensure consumer convenience. It is the primary objective of physical distribution. The right kind of distribution can increase consumer convenience. They can buy the product as per their needs at any time from the convenient place, even at a reasonable price. Similarly, middlemen involved in physical distribution who sell products of various companies can offer consumers a chance to select the most suitable products. Smooth and continuous flow of goods can add to the consumer satisfaction. Most of the times, if the consumer is not going to get the product in the right way, in the right manner, in the right time, as designed by him in the right quality, he can have dissatisfaction about the product and the company within him, and this will have a psychological influence on the buying behavior of the consumer, and this will create inconvenience in him related to the place and for the price of the product. Hence, physical distribution keeps in this as an objective to ensure consumer convenience is one of the major factors which physical distribution aids in. The next objective of physical distribution is to facilitate continuous production. Distribution is directly beneficial to producers. Continuous production contributes a lot to distributors, consumers, and society at large. An efficient distribution network facilitates continuous production because of sophisticated storing facility, rapid means of transportation and communication, access to the global market, advance ordering, buying incentives to sell in off seasons, rapid ordering and execution, etc. It is always the companies which face the problem that whenever they want to produce more amount of goods, there has to be space for storage, and where to store and where to store, the question arises in the minds of the organization. And if it has to store, there has to be proper physical distribution made at the right time. If proper physical distribution is made at the right time, then the goods thus produced can be shifted, and this will help the organization to facilitate continuous production in a better manner without any problem or struggle. Thus, distribution is entirely beneficial to the producers in continuous production contributes a lot to distributors, consumers, and society at large, benefiting both the company as well as the consumer, so that so much demand is being met easily by so much of supply. The next objective of physical distribution is to achieve economy. To economize distribution is one of the objectives of physical distribution. A suitable distribution system results in lowering overall costs in a number of ways: speedy order processing, availability of the latest transportation and communication, benefits of sale of economy, rapid sales, turnover, ensuring the products, and many other similar benefits lead to low costs and ultimately low selling price. So this helps the organization to achieve economy in the process of marketing as whole. The next advantage of physical distribution is with the objective known as to reduce a degree of damage or wastage. A company can reduce product damage that takes place during storage, transportation and handling. Also, availability of insurance at a lower premium can reduce considerable risk during storage and transportation. Use of cold storage, rapid and safe means of transportation, and other facilities relating to distribution can reduce damage or wastage of product, thus leading to reduced damage and better quality significantly contribute to success of the product. The next objective of physical distribution is to increase competitiveness. Today's market is characterized by cutthroat competition. All sellers are fighting for better offers to their consumers. A company can increase its competitive strengths by a systematic distribution network. Many companies can distinguish their offers by availing products differently than competitors. Effective distribution affects services, availability, timing, price, and similar benefits positively. Undoubtedly, if all the components of distribution work effectively, physical distribution can be a powerful means to fight with competitors in a better way. The next objective of physical distribution is to lower idle stocks. The idle stocks which are lying in the inventory is the biggest problem for the organization. This objective, that is, to lower idle stocks, relates to inventory control. Producers and distributors can minimize reordering size or safety margin by effective distribution system. Due to speed and precision in placing and executing orders and advance ordering by distributors, they are not required to maintain more stock of the finished product. This facility can reduce overall inventory cost and need of working capital for this purpose. The next objective is to ensure continuous availability of goods or service. This objective concerns with offering direct benefits to consumers. Due to wide availability of products, consumers are not required to store the essential commodities. They can buy the right quantity as and when they need. It leads to several benefits to consumers as well as the organization. The last objective of physical distribution is to achieve rapid turnover of stock. Physical distribution is also targeted to speed up turnover of stocks. From investment of cash in raw materials to realization of cash through the sales of finished products can be speeded up. Stocks can be speedily converted into cash, so the duration of the working capital cycle can be reduced and the need of working can be minimized. And this will save a lot for the organization, and from that the organization gets benefited. Hence, these are the beneficial objectives of physical distribution. Let us see now what are the features of physical distribution. The first feature is meaning. Physical distribution is a comprehensive term. It also known as distribution network refers to a range of activities and services required for moving products from producer to ultimate users. The next feature is parties. Physical distribution involves various parties such as producers, middlemen like wholesalers, retailers, agents, etc., and owners of warehouses, bankers, insurance companies, transporters, communication service providers, and many other similar parties who can facilitate a smooth flow to goods from producer to consumers. The next feature of physical distribution is activities or functions that actually take place. Physical distribution involves a large number of activities like grading or classifying, processing, packing and storing, ordering, transporting and transferring of title, receiving, inspecting, storing, maintaining and selling, and insuring and paying. It is applicable to raw materials and finished goods, and it is a cumbersome process for the organizations which are involved only in the production process. The next feature of physical distribution is cost or expenditure. Distribution involves on an average 20 to 25% of costs. Main components of cost involve grading or processing, storing, moving, charging, insuring damage or loss during movement, delivering to customers, and clearing bills. These all the costs can be reduced to a great extent by a suitable distributing system. The next feature of physical distribution is utility creation. Physical distribution creates time and place utility. Products manufactured at a particular point can be made available to different destinations in time. Consumers have more ease and freedom to buy the required quantity of products as and when they need. The next feature of physical distribution is the role the physical distribution plays. Physical distribution plays a decisive role in determining overall success of any product. Just by establishing a suitable distribution system, a company can offer additional benefit to buyers. The last feature of physical distribution is flexibility. Physical distribution is flexible in nature. How a product can be distributed is dependent upon various factors. So distribution decision is the individual decision of the firm and depends on the nature of the product, management philosophy, financial and human abilities of the firm, availability of quality and quantity of auxiliary services, demand of products, government rules and restrictions, and likewise. Every company designs its distribution network as per its needs and forces of external environment and keeping in their mind the resources available with the organization. Next up, we'll see what are the types of physical distribution available for the organizations. We have supplying distribution, carriers, intermodal transportation, cargo planes, sales and distribution. Let us see one by one what they are. Supplying distribution is when businesses transport materials from supply to stock. After creating the products, manufacturers must move these products from the manufacturing plant to the retail store where the manufactured products will be purchased. We have the next type known as carriers. When shipping products, business can either hire a contract carrier to perform deliveries for negotiated price or can hire common carriers, which are businesses that transport products in a given area for a set rate. The common carriers will provide transportation services to any businesses. Hired carriers will often not provide special handling, such as when the business needs a product transported with a special truck. The next type we have intermodal transportation. Businesses often use more than one form of transportation to move products, known as intermodal transportation. For example, trains can move products over long distance very cheaply, but trains lack flexibility. Businesses often move products across long distances on a train and then move the products to specific locations via truck. If the product must move overseas, products are shipped on boats to get the products across the ocean. The faster the ship, the more expensive it usually is to operate. The next type of physical distribution is cargo planes. To operate the consistent distribution channels, businesses also sometimes send products to consumers very quickly, such as when consumers and customers request that a product arrive by first class. Air cargo can bring products more quickly to customers. And the last type of physical distribution is sales and distribution. Sales and distribution models focus on the process of getting in contact with the customers, determining a price through negotiation with the customer, and determining how products will arrive at the customer's doorstep. Customers must provide an address, choose between shipping options, and confirm that a product has arrived in this type. Hence, these are all the various types of physical distribution available, and there are beyond many other possibilities for the organization to physically shift the products or the goods from the place of production to the ultimate user or the consumer, thus making the marketing a success. Full story. Thus, physical distribution. Thanks for listening.